combat in the Dragon Engine has come a long way since its debut in Yakuza 6, and Judgment certainly demonstrates that. It's tight, fluid, and ensure it is flashy. It feels like RGG have found a specific direction for their combat and have built in a visual flair and mechanical strength in accordance with this vision. The sense established, now the spectacle and style has been ramped up and touched up along this path, and it's amazing. While half the reason it feels great to play is the mechanical feedback you get from the game, the other half, I would argue, is just how good the studio has gotten at its non-diegetic visuals and other sensory flares that accompany it. The iconic heat trails are more vibrant, stylized, and detailed as ever, and accompany some of the punchiest non-diegetic audio stings that so perfectly match your actions and capture the vibe, not just of the fight, but the overall tone of the game. These attributes are carried to all the other visual flares that accompany Yagami whenever he is in intense movement. On the other side of that coin, the mechanics have been tuned up to their most responsive yet, as character movement feels appropriately tuned up, no longer having the feeling of characters floating away or the inverse, being stuck in glue. Although the stealth sections in Lost Judgment could still use a lot of work. All combat thus feels more weighty now, but doesn't sacrifice the speed which can make these games feel so good. While the mechanical improvements do a fantastic job at making the game feel tight and responsive, and the visuals add amazingly thematic flares to it, it is the depth of combat that is present that really impressed me the most. For example, the guard. Not only can the hardened perfect guard block swords, but the perfect guard itself does something incredible by letting you time it to flip the situation completely in your favor. It takes Yagami out of a completely defensive position as he is unable to move while he blocks, allowing him to attack straight away now that no more attacks are coming his way, and it leaves his enemies completely open for attacks as it staggers them. This is just chef's kiss, as it recontextualizes guarding into an aggressive action and helps keep the pace of the encounter relatively octane. Speaking of putting pressure on, the quick step blow combo is also a fantastic look at the subtle depth in Lost Judgment's combat. Obviously, Yagami will be using this to keep the pressure on his opponent by hitting left or right while attacking after dodging. It's a clever move that puts him on either one of the enemy's blind sides, encouraging smart positioning. Quick stepping forward also rewards aggressiveness, and aggressively positioning by getting up in the enemy's face with a powerful move that tends to break the flow of combat, often having the enemies clench their stomachs in pain. However, it is the quick step blow backwards that really intrigues me, because it is an awful idea. Generally, all you're doing is putting yourself in the enemy's path, even if you aren't in their reach. However, the game knows this, and instead of discouraging you by giving you a blow with incredibly small range like in previous entries, this time Yagami lunges into the air and forward to force you right back into the fight in an aggressive position, thereby keeping the pace of the interaction. So many techniques in the game keep you in the fight, and the best variations of these moves give you a positional advantage, which is just such a wonderful way to subtly encourage and teach players about the importance of said positioning. Speaking of subtly teaching the player the best states to be in, this game really does that in a really great way by encouraging its powerful playstyles. I like to point out to the example of the EX boost and how its best moves teach the player the nuances of the base style. Since we've been speaking about the tiger style up to now, let's use the snake style as an example instead, and specifically the parry. See, while you're in EX boost in snake style and the pace is more frantic thanks to that, the parrying being an aggressive disarming moves lets players know it is still an incredibly useful tool in the arsenal of the snake style and should be taken advantage of. Secondly, the snake style is the only style not to have a heavy attack EX boost combo, and thus further emphasizes the snake style's focus on quick, strong, and disarming blows, meant to either put you in an advantageous position on your enemy or to deal with them in a few powerful disarming moves. The EX boost for Crane style does something similar by automatically engaging in the projectile counter for you when the pace is more frantic, as opposed to normally where you would have to block it in time or manually with the incoming projectile hit. This encourages the great pace at which the Crane style thrives, but not by overwhelming you when an increase in pace is in fact activated. There are so many more examples I could think of here, but I'm going to leave it at that. I just really appreciate the stylistic, visual, and audio flares that spice up combat, along with how mechanically sound the game feels and how that perfectly aligns with the more deeper and subtle nuances present within the combat that have made it incredible to play still to this day. I can't wait to see how RGG will improve on it next and make it even more satisfying to engage with. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Sorry this video is coming out so far apart from the other one. It's been like past a month since I uploaded. This video has been cursed beyond belief, and I've scrapped it multiple times just because things have been going wrong. The project keeps crashing, things get delayed. and such and whatnot. But the biggest thing, besides me being sick, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice right now, the biggest thing is that work is really ramped up. I'm taking over a colleague's position while they're on maternity leave, and it just left me drained, so I haven't been focusing that much on the channel, which I do feel bad about because I have so much great ideas that just run through my head constantly, and I want to put them out on paper. So I do appreciate you sticking around. Luckily YouTube these days is more forgiving if you take a break. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. Still can't believe that the subscriber numbers continue to go up, and I really appreciate you sticking around. Thank you.